What's up, guys? It is Gray, aka the Okagray, and we're back for My Hero manga stuff to talk about. Once again, if you've not watched the last video where I talk about this, you should do it. At least watch like the first minute because it's I think it's pretty funny, to be honest. Also, if you like My Hero, you probably would watch that anyway. But you know, manga's time. It's the thing. We get more Deku shenaniganery. And it's pretty exciting because we get a lot about, also her name is confirmed to be NAGANT, I believe. If I'm butchering that, I'm going to find out eventually, so we'll see. Chapter starts off, bit of a flashback. Hawks is basically like, hey, like all the guys you saved Tartarus, who cares? Except for the one, she's a big deal. I used to work with her, and there she is. If you enjoyed my amazing thumbnail, you're familiar with this shot. Oof. Man, it's not quite Mirko level yet. Let's calm down. Let's be real, it's not. But it's shots like this that make me it's getting there. It's really getting there. It's if they keep going with this, I might have to, Lord forgive me, I might have to simp. Are we talking about the manga? I kind of lost my train of thought there. Hawks is like, yeah, she's a bad bee. Like, you don't want to deal with her. And Deku's like, oh, I can't talk to Hawks or All Might. And she's shooting him with like bullets that are tracking him essentially. And he gets hit, and he's like, wow, this is more powerful than a howitzer shot. A howitzer shot, which is, you know, like an explosion. This chick is insane, which we'll get to more details on her in a second, but she's pretty legit. And then we get another flashback to when Snipe was getting interviewed. He was like, yeah, this chick is crazy. She basically has my quirk just naturally, like without even trying. And her hair can turn into like any type of bullet she wants. She can kill people. She can hit people from like 3 kilometers away. Yeah, so she was nuts before she was bad. We get another brief flashback. Well, we don't get a flashback, but we do see Overhaul just talking about the boss. He's like completely lost his mind from what it looks like. He's just talking about the boss, and she's like, man, why did I drag you out here? Deku's strategizing intelligently. He figures out where she's coming from and is going to take the fight to her. And then she's dragging Overhaul away. We get another flashback briefly to when All For One encountered her. And by the way, All For One, see this panel? Freaking big. All For One's a Goliath, dude. You see this guy? He's like 12 feet tall. Man's a giant. Not to be understated. And she's like not concerned with him at all. She's like, yeah, All For One. That All For One, you know? And he's like, yeah, I need you to do something. She's like, why would I do that? And he's like, yeah, but if you don't get rid of this kid, he's not going to let you. He's going to keep Hero Society going. And clearly she doesn't like Hero Society. That's like kind of all we know. Excuse me. She's like another clinging to those phony hopes. So here's what we know about her. She went against the Hero Association, killed a hero. She was a member of the Hero Association at some point. And then she stopped believing in it, killed one of them, and now she's in Tartarus. Also, All For One gave her another quirk, which is Airwalk. Now, some people were talking about like, oh, the whole reason the doctor does surgeries is so that people can handle the stress of having another quirk. But I think in this case, it's one extra, and 2, a quirk like Airwalk, I presume, isn't super physically strenuous. It's just kind of like something to have. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not powerful. I just mean like it's not like if you had like a third limb, that would completely change the way your brain worked, right? Like you would have to have another segment of your brain dedicated for that limb. Whereas Airwalk, I don't think that's the case. You just can walk on air. I presume is how that works. If not, I guess we'll suffer the consequences. But I wouldn't be too worried about that personally. Yeah, this character is that's really all we get. It's a pretty short chapter, to be honest. Just kind of saying how crazy she is. Deku's alone for right now. We kind of get a little bit about how Overhaul is messed up mentally. And otherwise, we just get a little bit about her. And she's really, really cool. I'm really hoping that she doesn't go the same way that the other new female villain went, if anyone remembers her. I believe, oh man, what was her name? I don't even remember. She fought Toga, which was a bummer for her. Because it was time for Toga's development, and unfortunately, you know, well, if we remember how that went. But I don't think she's going to go anytime soon. I do think this chick is interesting. I don't think she's evil at the moment yet. Hopefully, I mean, I much prefer my character's gray, which is what I think my hero does so well. So I'd be pretty surprised if she's like, I'm just going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So it might even be possible that Deku sways her back. He's like, no, I believe in blah, 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 just blah, blah, blah. I'm, you know, if he can convince Stain, I feel like he might be able to convince her. So who knows? She is really cool. I want to see her. I'm sure we'll get her backstory soon. If not, next chapter. Maybe not. I could see this getting interrupted and then we get her backstory later. But we've gotten like a tidbit. We're just due for a flashback now. Also, this opens up the fact that the Hero Association is most likely probably corrupt. We already know it's a little messed up, like definitely with like the Hawks thing and blah, blah, blah. But we haven't gotten like any hard, like, oh, this is deep stuff. And so there's a good chance that she knows something that we don't. And in that case, Deku's going to have to completely reform everything, which would be cool to see. I mean, I'm not going to lie, you know, more. Also, this just tells me that we are not as close to the end as some people think we are, because everyone's like, oh, it's going to end in like 20 chapters. No, not even close. I think as I said, I think we're about a third left of the story, because we're still getting some new interesting characters. We got a lot to talk about. We still have yet to see any of the other students from 1A longer than like a panel. So, please. I just want to see how the 1A students are holding up. Midnight's dead, and we haven't even gotten like a reaction out of Aizawa yet, for the most part. Except that he didn't have time to focus on it. Anyway, I love her. She's like wifey material for sure. Also, in case you couldn't tell. She's very attractive, which is nice. All I'm saying. Otherwise, the biggest thing, honestly, for me, like she's a cool character, and I'm glad she's there. But I'm trying to figure out what part Overhaul is going to play in this, because people like you don't just have characters there to sit there and do nothing for the most part. He is going to serve a purpose. I just can't tell what it is. You know, are we really going to get like the My Hero Suicide Squad of like Stain and Overhaul and Gentle or whatever? I don't see them working well together, to be honest, but I think it'd be funny. Like is he going to help Deku? I don't think a Overhaul redemption story is on the horizon, but if it is, I didn't really like Overhaul to begin with. So I guess I'm a little biased here, but I also didn't like Stain. I know how popular he is, so either way, at this point, Overhaul is just a way, way worse Shigaraki. We do know from the guidebooks that he was able to make his quirk work a little bit without his hands, but we haven't seen that in the manga yet, so we don't know the extent of which he can actually be useful. Maybe Eri gives him that. How messed up would that be? Eri giving Overhaul his hands? No, I hate that. I don't want that to happen. I'd be upset. I'd be visibly upset about that. You'd be in for a rant video. I'd have to turn on the rating warning. The not for kids rating warning. Speaking of, I might talk about the final season of Castlevania, because I believe I reviewed season 3 last year, and I just feel like it'd be fitting if I reviewed season 4, because I have some spicy takes on that. Either way, we're pretty much done here. I think we're almost at 10 minutes, which is way longer than I want these videos to go on anyway. So in that case, thank you all so much for watching. Once again, please check out that Strongest Hero video. It should be recommended to you at the end of this. If not, I'll put a link in the description anyway. So, if you enjoyed, please consider liking, subscribing. I do mostly My Hero content anyway. Obviously, I'm wearing a freaking Endeavor hoodie. Also, look out for like a logo soon? ? I have an idea. I just need to get it into. I completely jerked that up. I just need to get it into physical form, and it's pretty cool. Anyways, guys, once again, leave a like. If I don't know what I talked about. Why haven't you liked the like button yet? You know what I mean? Comment. Tell me what your favorite color is. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see all of you next time. Peace.